Welcome back to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. Sean here again to discuss some more extra year guys using their free year of eligibility. This time, it's a Big Ten player. It's Kyle Young, the big man from Ohio State. And this is a big one because Kyle Young does a lot of good things. He's an elite defender inside. He developed a three-point shot more consistently this season. And he's kind of the engine that keeps this Ohio State team rolling. We saw in the loss in the NCAA tournament, who didn't they have? Kyle Young, and they lost to a 15 seed. They had no answer for Kevin O'Banner. He dominated them the entire game. And I think a big reason is because Kyle Young didn't play. If they have Kyle Young, they win probably, but they didn't. So that kind of changes things and shows how important he was. He's another guy. He's not an NBA player. He probably will never play an NBA game in his career. And that's not to say he's not a talented basketball player. He's extremely talented. There's just such a small amount of players that ever appear in an NBA game. I doubt Kyle Young ever does, but he's going to get paid overseas when the time comes. But he decides to return for this one. So what does that mean for Ohio State? You return a guy who was always kind of a glue guy his first few years, but now he's a bona fide all-conference player. You pair him with E.J. Liddell, who's testing the waters but likely to return. Same goes for Dwayne Washington. You add Jamari Wheeler from Penn State. He's a lockdown defender. He can facilitate. He can shoot. He's your C.J. Walker replacement. So I think that's, I think you get a little better in that area. C.J. Walker is a fine player. He can't shoot, and, he's a very questionable scorer on the offensive side as a whole. You replace that with the guy in Jamari Wheeler, who's developed every year of his career, coming from the same conference. You get Malachi Branham coming in. That's going to be a big one. You get Michi Johnson. He reclassified last year. He comes into this season. He showed flashes in the little bits he played, and I think he has a bright future for sure. And Justice Suing at the wing with Eugene Brown. You have Zed Key down low also. So there's a lot of depth down there. I think the Buckeyes are in for a pretty good season. Assuming Liddell and Dwayne Washington Jr. return, I think Ohio State, reasonably could be a top 10 team in the preseason when the final polls are all said and done. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with them. I believe I had them top 25 anyways without Kyle Young, so I'll probably have them top 20 with Kyle Young. They'll be updated soon. There's a lot of different things I have to, take into account. All the other teams that have made moves, but I think overall getting Kyle Young back is significant for the Buckeyes. I think it makes a huge difference, and I think in the Big Ten, we look at what's going to happen in the Big Ten. We have Purdue, who, Travion Williams testing the waters. Jaden Ivey probably will. So those are two guys that'll probably return, but testing the water, so we'll see. Michigan, you lose Isaiah Livers, but you return pretty much everybody else you expected to return. I mean, Mike Smith left, but you get Eli Brooks back. Sean D. Brown left. I feel like most expect him to not use a free year, and he's not going to. He is gone. But Michigan, you add a ton of freshmen. Caleb Houston is a guy I think could be an all-conference first-teamer in his only year probably in the Big Ten. I think he's going to be a one-and-done kind of guy because he's 6'9" and can light it up from deep. I think he's going to have a huge season. And then I think Michigan State could be pretty good. Tyson Walker is the point guard that they needed last year, but they get him the Northeastern transfer set for a big season. I think they're going to be really good too, and I would put Ohio State right in that top 4. So I would be stunned if Ohio State doesn't finish next season as a top 4 team in the Big Ten. You look at the bottom. Minnesota's terrible. Just call it what it is. They're a bad team. Nebraska, they're improved, but I still don't think they're very good. Northwestern, they're Northwestern. So the bottom 3 is going to be the bottom 3, and it's those 3 teams without a doubt in my eyes. I don't think the Big Ten's going to be as good next season, if I'm being honest. I'd have Illinois in that mix in the top 4 or 5. Overall, I just don't think the Big Ten's going to be that crazy next season. Iowa's going to come back down to earth without Luka Garza. Joe Wieskamp's testing the waters. He could leave. The Big Ten's going to be interesting next season to monitor, and I'm certainly curious as how it plays out. But thanks for listening to this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and until next time, have a good one.